The Yellow Brick Road.
Yeah.
It was Marley that showed it to me, actually. She said, Mum, have you seen this? I found the Yellow Brick Road, and where did they say it was connected to? And it's under the water.
Pacific
Ocean. And we already know that Atlantis is the Atlantic, which is America.
I hate when they talk about this discovered thing. You knew it was
there.
You've just been trying to hold it under wraps for the longest time, but now that everything's
coming to the surface, this is the thing. Like, we're living in a period of time now where everything is bobbing to the surface. The mask is falling. This is what I've been saying.
I wish they never brought this internet age in.
I said that. I think it was a double-edged sword for them. I think they thought they were just going to be watching us and learning about us, but really we're looking at them.
Yeah.
And in their need to, because what I say about people who try to control everything, they can't control themselves, and now they're starting to fight amongst themselves.
Did you hear what Elon Musk said the other day? He was saying, I'm still deciding if I can allow Donald Trump back on Twitter.
What?
But I don't understand how he controls Twitter. Like,
well, I saw something the other day between, that guy, he likes crying and preaching about things. He's a white guy. What's his name?
Oh, I thought talking about the gay one that said he's not gay.
He gets very emotional when he's talking. Don't get me wrong, he says a lot of things that actually I resonate with. But he was talking with another guy. I'll have to find the video. He was saying, him and this guy were in an interview, and they were saying how Elon Musk is so far out, and they were saying I reckon he's an alien, like normal conversation, and they were going, yeah, he's definitely an alien. Anyway, blah blah blah. I was like, how do you just drop that in the
curse that, like, you didn't just say what you said?
Do you know what I mean? And I said, the thing is, and that's another thing. I watched something the other day about a place in America called Sheffield, because we know that the English went everywhere. They went everywhere in America and conquered. And I know that even more through looking at Mr. Dickinson, the mixed race, famous slave, who said that he believed his master was his father. Anywho,
sad,
but it's a place in Sheffield in America where they have a lot of sightings, or they've been taken away by aliens.
The U.S. Navy has finally acknowledged that videos appearing to show UFOs flying through the air are real.
It's not a helicopter. There's no propulsion. There's no wings. It rapidly accelerates and disappears.
And the thing about this...
I believe in that.
Yeah, you do?
I believe, like, people have been taken. I feel like when you come back, you don't remember. Or maybe it's too much for you to...
But these people... you can see they're trying to keep...
Did Ray L say he was taken?
Well, listen, a whole family, son, mother and father. The mother's going to be... Because people were attacking her and saying you're chatting crap. And yeah. The guy's a big grown man now, but he said he had to learn to fight. Right? There's a lot of people in the village all saying the same thing. This guy that went to visit them went to the police station, and they kept saying, yeah, you can talk to the constable. And then every time they turn up, he was on a lunch somewhere. He wasn't in today, right? Anywho, this one woman said she's never been back to this spot ever since the abduction.
First you could see the glow, and my father was like, holy shit. And then it was huge. It covered the whole thing. And he's like, I gotta chase this. And I'm like, no, don't, Dad. And he took off down the road to chase it.
And people have always just taken the mick out of him. She's talking, you can tell there's nothing wrong with this woman. She ain't cuckoo, she's not. But then by chance, they bump into another woman who said she's been doing research into the government and what they've got to do with it. And remember I told you about Bering Island and the Inuits?
Yeah.
Well, remember they said that the island was scarce, there was hardly anybody there apart from them, and there was only 800 of them. Remember they said with the Circassian War, they did experiments on humans and called them subhumans and was boosting babies out their bellies. Well, the thing about this Sheffield place is that I think all these places that they go are on a force field, some kind of force. So, and I also believe that, but I'm just going to say for people that understand, when they say we landed on Plymouth Rock And Martin Luther King said, no, Plymouth Rock landed on us. Doing all this research now, yeah, don't give a sorry, language. But these people that landed there, don't get me wrong, I know through research that a lot of these ships came and entered that way with the rich English people. But I believe that they're from somewhere else. I'm just saying it. And the thing is, people will say, oh, they believe in that. But if you can believe in fallen angels, didn't they come from somewhere? Wouldn't that make them an alien? Do you see what I mean about... When I think about logic. People don't join the dots and they say, them people there is mad, it's craziness you're talking. But you read a Bible that says there were fallen angels who came to earth and started a war.
Yeah, so make it make sense.
You know, I just feel that everybody's having all these different arguments with each other, but they're not putting it together.
Yeah.
You know, and then the other thing I'm hearing recently is they're now admitting, you type it into Google, Jesus was a real person. Before it was a myth. What have I said to you about these myths? They pick and
choose when things are myths, and normally the myths are the truth, and the truth is a
lie. I've been
lie.
telling you, now they're saying there's been historical accounts. That's a difficult word to use because it could be anyone's story, but there's been accounts. There's an account from an emperor.
Guang Wu isn't a minor king. He first took power in AD 25. Like many emperors, they counted the year of their reigns from the first complete year. So the 7th year of his reign would actually be AD 33. This is important.
A certain century had a prophecy about it. And then when it happened, there were accounts from people in different parts of the world saying that the sun was blacked out and this Jesus guy was killed on April the 3rd. It happened on April the 3rd.
Well...
But what they've done, like I've said, is I've always said they give us the truth with the face of a lie. So then they've given us Easter, which is to do with sex rituals, etc. on this day.
They're bad mind, you know, because then it's like, whatever you do believe in is either fabricated or they've just messed up the first intention. You know what I mean? They've put their own spin on it. And then it's just like, okay... Well,
how do I believe this? Yeah. And then on top of that, then there's other people saying, okay, what is it called? The shroud. That thing that apparently had the imprint of Jesus' face on it, right? But then these people are saying it's true. Not only was a crown found in the same shroud and the nails, they're also saying this Jesus wore a ponytail with pieces here, which sounds Jewish. Yeah, but then he was white. So everybody who is black and saying Jesus, 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 how you gonna feel if your Jesus is white for real? And then it still brings back in these visitors.
Narrowed down to a pointed chin, and on the side of the bed, on the corner of the bed, there was another female, an Asian-looking female.
Bobby Hermit says the white man that's here gets all the blame for this white man that came from somewhere else. Because when I say things, it's weird. So I drop it all these different ways. Pro-black guy saying it. Yeah. The white people don't say it.
A single blonde hair, where biochemist Horace Drew subjected the hair to DNA analysis. The results were not what he expected.
It was very unusual because most people's hair is yellow or brown or black, and this was optically clear like nylon fishing line. In the shaft above the hair, we got a very rare Chinese lineage, about 0.1%, 1% of ethnic Chinese. And then in the other part, we actually got blue-eyed, Celtic, light-skinned lineage.
Why don't they, people always say, why don't they take the black people? Well, maybe this Jesus is actually white. Then there was me saying all this time, they're giving us all these Jesuses. Which Jesus is it? And people look at me like I'm weird. But then this Jewish prolific guy said the same thing. He's been given 7 Jesuses over the years. What Jesus are we talking about? And then when we and you looked into the last high priest, how many were there after the last one?
Many.
Right. And then when we do look at the high priest, the only one that's making sense is Joshua or Joshua. So you know...
And then you know, like, we've got how many languages in the world, and you see how, like, Hispanics or Spanish people, they say Jesus,
And that's what was in the comments. Well, we know it is translated in Jesus. So
you can't really keep dismissing it all as sort of fantasies of the mind or sexual fantasies. While it didn't absolutely prove that it was alien, because we're only dealing with one hair sample, it did nevertheless prove that we're dealing with something quite unusual.